have something in common. They're men who cheated on them time and time again, and they've all taken the same steps to get them back. They got pregnant on purpose. Today, women who say, I got pregnant on purpose just to keep him. Continue to cheat on you and refuse to commit, what would you do? What would you do? Well, let's hear what Vicky did. Meet Vicky. She has been dating Reginald for 4 years and has 2 children by him. She says he's been cheating on her and even has 2 other children by 2 other women. Vicky says she got pregnant on purpose 5 months ago and believes with the birth of their 3rd child, Reginald will settle down and spend the rest of his life with her. Already they have an opinion. Reginald is waiting backstage, and we also have 2 surprise witnesses here in the audience. When we'll hear from them in a moment. But before we do, Vicky, tell us why you got pregnant.
Well, first of all, he had a child before I indulged with him.
1 child.
Right. Then I got pregnant with my daughter, which we both wanted a child. So, you know, he didn't cheat on me then. So after my daughter was born, he started cheating. We didn't deal, and then he got someone else pregnant. So it wasn't like I was with him when his 2 children were born. So I decided to get pregnant because he's nice company and the sex is good. So I decided, well, I'd rather have him as a friend. If I can't keep him as a friend, then, you know, I don't want him. So I decided, well, if I have another baby, well, he'll stay with me. He'll be my friend. He don't have to be with me because he's young. He's not going to commit right now, but in the future.
But shouldn't you, if you're going to have a child with somebody, shouldn't he commit? I mean, if he's old enough to have a child, then he's old enough to certainly make a commitment.
If their frame of mind is at the level where they want to commit, they will. I didn't want to commit. I just wanted him, you know, in my life. I'm not...
But what about, doesn't your children deserve to have a stable father figure in their life?
Yeah, they do, but regardless whether I'm with him or not, if he's not going to be there, he don't have to be there.
Yes.
So what are you going to do? You're going to have all these kids all over the place, and then where's he going to be? And who's going to help you support him?
I don't need anybody to help me support my kids. I support them on my own.
Well, that's
and
good
I do very well with my kids.
That's good and all, but is that smart?
I'm happy, so it's smart enough.
All right, as long as you're happy.
But you're not happy because you did, in fact, get pregnant with this 3rd child. You're 5 months pregnant.
Okay, he knew I could get pregnant. I know when I ovulate because I feel it in my tubes. No, that's true. That is very true. That is true. I had an infection in my tubes before, and when I ovulate, I feel it. And he called me and told me he was coming over. I said, no, I'm ovulating. His answer was, good, I'm on my way. So evidently, it's something he wants. And he has a daughter that lives like a block away from him, so if he didn't want to be bothered with me, he wouldn't come this far.
Yes.
So what happened with protection?
That's what I'm saying. That's the only person I sleep with if I'm not a whore.
Yeah, but
or
you're
whatever.
not the only person he sleeps with.
I know
that. But you say that you're happy, Vicky, but yet you're going on child number 3 with him, and he's still not giving you what you want. And what you want is a commitment. Well,
I don't want a commitment.
So why did you get pregnant?
I wanted him in my life. He's still my friend. If I didn't have these kids, no telling where he would be.
Yes.
if you want him in your life, you already have 2 kids from him. So why make another one?
Well, see,
Why make matters
I always
worse?
wanted 3 kids.
That don't make no
I always wanted
sense.
3 kids, and I always wanted my kids to be by the same person, not by everybody.
But
that
it's
run the
obviously he going around making babies all over the world.
He only
I mean,
had
he's
4,
not just a
and one of
father
them
to
was
you.
there
Do you
before,
want
and
to
one of them was
meet this
born.
baby maker? Reginald, come on out here. Welcome, potent Reginald. What is going on here?
Nothing really. You know, I wasn't ready to settle down. So,
Will you settle down with Vicky?
no.
Yes, he will. Mark, nobody else really wants Reginald. He just goes from person to person because he can, because he uses his thing. But because of the age, he will eventually. No matter, he will.
Let me tell you.
I figure like this. He keep coming back as something. Each one of my children was made in my house. I don't have to go to his
First of
house.
all, I know we won't get back together for the simple fact I never go backwards, I always go forward.
Well, if you don't never go back, how do I have 2 more children back?
Okay, let me just throw something out here, okay? You say you got pregnant on purpose to get him, to keep him. But
He's still my
how do
son.
you know that he's wanting you for you and not wanting
If-
you for these children?
If he wanted me for the children, then he can go make them with somebody else. I mean, anybody else. He already has another one.
So you say he's your friend. He's your
Right.
friend. When was the last time you 2 were intimate?
Nope.
Okay.
Answer the question.
Last night.
Last night.
30 seconds.
Were you?
Yes, for 30 seconds. That's why I think maybe our relationship was purely sexual, because now he's losing his touch because he's giving it to everybody.
I told you last night I didn't feel like doing that.
Well, why did you walk all the way to my hotel room? You didn't have to walk me. LaShonda was with me. We 2 women, we could have walked together. You didn't have to walk me and have Sean wait with LaShonda in the other hotel room. What was the person?
We were trying to make a booty call, that's all.
Well, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it, because 30 seconds was not even worth it.
Vicky, I'm talking with Reginald. I'm listening to what he's saying. What makes you think he's going to settle down with you?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Reginald is a good talker. He loves to talk. Now, when we get back to Chicago, it'll be a whole different story. But you know what? He's mad because I have a man that lives with me, and he knows that. He knows that. He's called numerous of times. Wait, he's called numerous of times. Can I come over? No, my man has a key. Now, why would you come over to my house at 4 o'clock in the morning?
My woman be back in Alabama today. What I need?
Well, why would you come over to my house at 4
I'm
o'clock?
really
I know you want
confused.
to Teresa. See, it doesn't bother me.
Vicky, I am really confused. If you have a man and you live with this man, what do you want with
I
Reginald?
don't anymore. I'm saying I did. He's still my
I
friend.
can't tell.
Yeah, because my man's not here. But if you can't tell, how come I haven't been over your house to get any in a long time? But you came over my house at 4 o'clock in the morning.
And what was I? Was I drunk or was I sober? Boy, when I'm drunk, I'm gonna make me a booty call.
Okay, well, why not? Okay. Now listen to this. Excuse me. Wait. You have a baby mama that lives across the bridge from you.
And when I get drunk, I'll make a booty call over there, too.
away from you. So why would you come all the way a mile away and you know I have
All
a
right,
man
hang on, you guys. Yes.
I just have one thing to say. First of all, I think you're using your kids to keep him with you. If you want him as a friend, he should be there just because he wants to be your friend.
But
and
I
that's
also
it.
want kids for myself.
Yeah, but you're saying that you wanted to have
I
kids
love
with him so
kids.
he
I
would
love
stay with you as
children.
his
I love
friend.
my kids.
I'm glad you love children. I'm sure you're a wonderful mother, but you owe it to your children to also provide them with a father.
Well, they have one now.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have some surprise witnesses to this story. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hi, we're back. If you're just joining us, we're talking with Vicky and Reginald. Vicky got pregnant on purpose twice to keep Reginald. She still doesn't have Reginald. And there are two surprise witnesses here today that are going to bring even more to the story. Where are you guys? Come on out of the audience and get down on stage. Hey, we have LaShonda and LaShawn. LaShonda, you're Vicky's friend. What is going on here?
Okay, after Vicky had her first child, they broke up. She used to call me at my job crying, telling me that he said this, he don't want to be bothered with me and stop calling him and all this and that. So she said, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna get pregnant by him. She was like, and if I have a boy, I know he going to be all up in my butt. So I told her, I was like, Vicky, I was like, don't do it, leave him alone. He is not all that. I said, girl, it is plenty of men out here. I told her, what you need to do is throw that fish back in a sea and get you a shark. I told her.
So you think no matter how many children she has by him, he ain't never gonna settle down?
Not because she had it. If he want to, maybe, but not because she had the children. It don't work like that. It just don't.
All right.
It do not work
LaShawn,
like that.
you're Reginald's buddy. What do you have to say?
Man, this brother, wow, know what I'm saying? No, and it wasn't no saying like he was out for no relationship. It was just that. You know what I'm saying? No, it wasn't. We can't say no booty call, but yeah, no, we get drunk all the time. We just go out. Know what I'm saying? Whatever we want, we go to get. If we can't get it, we move on to the next thing. You know?
You're just mad, Sean, right?
About what? Tell me.
Because all my Marky, Reginald always came over my house.
Right.
And you wanted a friend, and nobody wanted to talk to Sean. And you haven't been with Reginald I haven't seen you in a long time, Sean. So you would not know what's going on as far as me and Reginald, because no one knows what goes on behind closed doors. He can stand up here and say one thing, but behind a closed door, he say another, whether he get it or not.
But know what I'm saying? Hey, it wasn't like, oh, no, saying I accept a no. I heard no before I heard yeah. Know what I'm saying? I wasn't tripping off a no.
So do you think he's ever gonna settle down with Vicky?
No, man, she can have 1,000 kids by him. He ain't gonna settle down, because that's him. He got kids by another girl, and he ain't gonna settle down with her. What makes you think she grab 4, 5, 6, he gonna settle down with her?
But you know what? I don't think that it's to keep him because she have had plenty of men. What I think is that the other girl that got she don't want her to have as many kids by him as she got.
So
that's what it is.
Every time they get pregnant, both of them be pregnant around the same time.
Really?
Come on.
When she got pregnant the last time, I was not pregnant when she was.
I'm
Hold
sorry,
on. When you was
but
pregnant with
I have a problem.
I think she better show the picture so they can see why they call him.
Vicky, I have a problem with your reasoning behind your having children.
It's not just to keep him. I wanted kids. I decided to have him by him. No one knows how he is. He's a good friend, regardless of the sex. He's a good talker. How would you know? You're not his friend. I'm not talking about you. He don't say what he said to you to me.
But you haven't mentioned, Vicky,
No,
I hear you mentioned that he's great in bed with those booty calls. But you haven't mentioned once that he's a good father.
Woman, so I don't need a man to take care of my kids.
But your children deserve to have a father.
Reginald, as long as
do you want to have more children,
everything.
Reginald?
No.
Well, have you heard of a condom?
Yes. Yes.
What do you want to say?
I think that she's like insecure about herself. I think that if she just move on, take the 5 kids she got and move on while she has a chance because nobody, when she finds the man that she wants, nobody's gonna want her with 5 kids, and he is very disrespectful. No kind of friend to you.
Yes, what do you want to say, ma'am?
I just want to say that I think you're extremely selfish because you keep talking about what you want and you don't feel that your kids need a father. What about your kids? Young people have enough disadvantages without somebody just bringing kids into the world without a father figure.
But if he's not there, I can't make them.
All right. Next, a girl who got pregnant at 15 just to keep her man. We'll be right back. We're talking to women who say they got pregnant on purpose to keep their man. Joining us now is Jamie and her mother, Helene. Jamie says that her boyfriend, Brian, was mentally, physically, and emotionally abusive during their relationship and even cheated on her. She thought the only way to make it work was to get pregnant by him. After she got pregnant, she realized that Brian didn't change and they broke up. Jamie's here today because she's considering taking him back. Helene says Brian has already done enough damage to their family and she wants him to stay away from her daughter. We're going to meet Brian in a moment, but first, Jamie, tell me what your relationship was like with Brian.
It was very bad. He cheated on me all the time. He mentally, physically abused me, and he cheated on me constantly. He would never, ever...
It's okay. It's okay. Take your time. But why would you at 15 get pregnant on purpose to keep this person?
It wasn't really on purpose. I always wanted a baby because, I don't know, most teenagers do. I thought that everything would, well, I always wanted a baby because I loved babies, but I know that's not the right thing to do, so I always wanted one, so God.
It just happened.
Yeah. And no matter...
What happened when you told him...
I thought that everything would change with him, and I thought that everything would be paradise. I thought that we'd be together forever, and everything would be so sweet and dandy, but it wasn't. I finally grew up because now I'm 18. I realized that was a stupid thing to do, but I wouldn't change anything with my baby. I love him very much, and I don't care what anybody says about that. And
what did he say to you when you told him that you were pregnant?
He was cheating on me at the time, so he really didn't say anything. He's just like, oh, the first day that I had to get my test done to see if I was really pregnant, I knew I was because, well, the first day I didn't know because I had a pregnancy test that night, and I guess it's not that accurate when you take the test at night. So the next morning, I was disappointed because, I really wanted a baby, but the next morning I took another one, and my mom's like, no, this can't be. I was pregnant, and I was happy. Deep down inside, I was happy because I always wanted a baby.
Was Brian happy?
He didn't have no feelings with anything. He was just really cold because he was cheating on me at the time. When he cheats on me, you can tell. And he was really cold towards me. So I thought that, okay, just get it out of his system, everything will be okay. I was 16 at the time when I found out I was pregnant, I was stupid. I admit that
Helene,
I was dumb.
Let me ask you, you're her mom. How did you feel when you found out that she got pregnant on purpose?
Oh, I was crushed. I always thought if she was going to get pregnant, because I knew that they had a very strong relationship, and Jamie was codependent on Brian, and we took her to counselors, and at the age of 15, they're very vulnerable. And Brian, yes, he was 2 years older than her, but he knows how to talk to females. He knows what to say. He knows how to manipulate and control. And he actually had her wrapped around his finger no matter what her father and I
Even
said.
to the point where she was suicidal.
Oh, yes. The day he was supposed to go to a family outing with us, and she just loved being with him. She would have been with him 24 hours a day. That's how much she thought that she was in love with him. And he called up that morning and he said, oh, I have to go somewhere with my mom.
I was looking forward to this. We were supposed to go out for a week, and I was so excited because we were supposed to go to my family outing, and I was getting all ready at the last minute. He's just...
And then we went, and then we came home because she was so depressed, and then all of a sudden, she tried paging him on his beeper. She paged him about 50 times. He never answered her page. In fact, he shut off the beeper. That's what we found out. And she just overdosed on pills, Navain.
I didn't do it to really commit suicide. It wasn't...
To get his attention.
To get his, I love you.
And what happened? What did he say when he found out?
He called her a stupid bitch. That's what he said. He said, you stupid
And I
bitch.
was expecting, Rose, you know, I'm sorry, okay, let's
So,
work things out.
wait a minute, let me get this straight. You're considering taking this guy back?
No, I am not. I know he sits here and he'll say, I change. He'll come up here.
Let's
but
hear
I
from
don't-
him. Let's hear from him. Brian, come on out here. Well, Brian,
Well, everything she said is true. I've got to admit, it's really true. But people grow up, you know. I've got a little kid now, and I take care of my responsibilities. I'm not like, you know, a worthless piece of scum and don't take care of my responsibility. I got insurance for my kid. I pay for my kid, and I'm almost 20 years old now. And I mean, I want my family. I want my family.
He wants to now. He says that he'll prove to me. But what did you do to change, though?
I've mellowed out a lot.
But what did you do?
You know, actions speak louder than words.
He sits here and he calls me. I've been away from him.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He is a good provider for the baby, yes, and he has provided for the baby. And yes, there is something inside of him that can give love, but just something in his past. He cannot have a stable relationship. And
stable relationship, forget about that. He's been mentally, physically, and
Right.
emotionally abusive to your daughter.
He said, I've been away from him 9 months because I broke up with him. I said, I'm sick of it. I'm not going to be hurt. I think I turned cold toward myself because it's like I had this guy that treated me real good. He would have did anything for me. He was like the greatest guy in the world. And it's like, I can't fall in love with him. I don't know. I can't fall in love with him. I don't have like love in myself
It sounds to me like you have
anymore.
low self-esteem, that you
I
think that
have
this is
very
all
low
you
self-esteem.
deserve.
I'm very insecure
All right, I
person.
want to introduce someone who's in our audience. Her name is Jane Goldberg. She's the author of The Dark Side of Love. She's a psychoanalyst specializing in relationship issues. Jane, what is going on here? Can you stand up, please?
Well, it's clear that the relationships are very strong and that there are attachments that these couples have to each other, but I think that Vicky and Jamie actually are suffering from what I would call the if-only syndrome. They have the idea that if only, you know, if only I win the lottery, I'm going to be happier. If only I have one child, or if only I have a son, or if only he commits himself, that my life is going to be fulfilled and happy. And
it just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. No.
I mean, it's shocking to me that a 15-year-old would think that the answer in life would be to
I was
have a
16
baby.
when I got pregnant.
16,
Yeah.
big difference. So, Brian, you now want to marry...
See, it's not like that. See, ask this girl if she loves me with all my heart. Now, I love this girl with everything I've got.
She
Everything
said,
I have.
but how can he, if he loved me, I loved him so much. I
You're right.
never touched one other guy. I was very faithful
You're
for
right.
2 years. And he sat there, I don't even know how many girls he's been with. And he says he loves me. If he loved me, why would he be with other girls?
But love is more than just a feeling, and it's more than just a chemical attraction. It's also a mature understanding of who the other person is. And so, although I do think that there's something very strong that's happening in these relationships, I'm not sure that any of them actually have a realistic understanding of who the other person is.
Yeah, and what business does like a 16-year-old have in like having a child? You're a child yourself.
I know, but I can't change back time, and I love my son with all my heart, and I would do anything for him. And I can't. It was a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes in their lives.
Yes.
My question is, what's his name? Brian?
Brian.
I'm sorry, Brian. Why you think that a family is going to make you feel like you've grown up? You know,
No, it's not
now
like
that you
that.
have,
I've grown up.
You'll have a wife, a child. You'll feel like you're growing up. That's not how to grow
That's
up.
not-
You sit down and you think about what
Oh,
you've
you're right.
done in the
Trust me, I've been
past,
through a lot in
and you
my
think
life.
about what you can do in the future.
You're right.
Brian, I just want to ask one thing, okay? And I know you don't have to prove yourself to me, but being the mother of Jamie, I would
What did
like
he
for
do
you to
to
prove.
change?
Just say, okay, there's a pattern to you, okay? You go back to Jamie, I love you with all my heart, I want to be a family, I want us to be together, fine. But then 3 to 4 months later, you're like out the door.
You know what?
Why don't you say hit the road for good? I mean, I can't believe you're even
I
like
can't
negotiating
say
with
that.
him.
I can't say hit the road for good because it's not my life. I can't live her life for her. I wish I could. But my life is over. Now, Jamie, if she's gonna fall on her face hard,
I'm not going to fall on my face because I'm not going to let it happen again.
All right. Next up, a woman whose husband left her 7 times, so she got pregnant to keep him. We'll be back. What would you do if your husband wanted to sow his wild oats while he was still married to you? Meet Leanne and her husband, Thomas. She says Thomas left her 7 times during the first 2 years of their marriage. She wanted to make the relationship work so badly that she got pregnant on purpose in hopes that Thomas would settle down. Thomas says he feels used and manipulated and doesn't know if he and Leanne would still be together if it weren't for the baby. Leanne, what happened?
Well, we got married, and about 3 weeks into the relationship, things just started falling apart. He was drinking really heavy, and he was verbally, mentally abusive. And every time we'd get in a fight, he'd leave. He'd pack his stuff up, and he would just go. I don't know where he was going, probably, you know, he'd blow his paycheck, drinking in the bars, whatever. And he always said he wanted children, and I already have a daughter from a previous relationship, but he said he wanted more kids. And at first I was like, no way, I'm not going to bring another innocent victim into this scenario. It's awful.
What changed your mind?
Well, you know, he kept on, and so I decided, well, I wanted to have another child before I was 25, because my parents are young, and I wanted to be a young parent, because I think it's easier to relate. And I thought, well, I was going to have another baby.
I'm 26
anyway.
and I don't have kids. Boy, I'm over the hill.
But I was going to have another child regardless. But I thought, well, I know he wants kids, and I know he's a great father. So we were having a house built, and I figured, well, the new house, you know, another addition to the family, everything would be great.
But you didn't tell him of your plan.
No, because I'd already brought it up. I kind of broached the subject, and he didn't want anything to do with it at the time.
But you thought in your mind that if only I could have a baby by him, he'll stay with me, he'll commit to me.
And maybe,
what
you know,
happened?
It fell apart. We moved into our house, and then I was pregnant. I didn't know it at the time. We moved into our house. The day after that, he left me. And then I found out I was pregnant. Like, I went to the emergency room. I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I mean, here we had saved for this house, and he was gone, and I was stuck. And I didn't even know I was pregnant. Well, they took blood routinely, and they called me at work, you know, congratulations, you're pregnant. And I'm like, oh, geez, what have I done? Because he was already gone, and here he was having an affair with a woman 15 years older than me. And I didn't know that. I didn't know.
So Thomas,
had I known, I would have never done it.
Thomas, forget about the woman, the older woman. How did you feel when you heard that she got pregnant on purpose to keep you?
Well, I felt a little manipulated myself. I mean, I felt like the way if she wanted to work things out at the time, I wish she would have came down and talked to me.
I tried, you'd leave.
No, we'd argue.
Yeah, and you would leave, of course. I mean, I'm going to say what's on my mind. You keep everything inside. If I'm mad or, you know, if I've done something wrong, I can admit when I'm wrong, usually. But, I mean, you're supposed to get it out. You just don't take off. You know, what's that going to accomplish?
But what is this baby accomplishing?
Well, things haven't gotten any better, not really. I mean, he's grown up a lot, and he is a good father.
Are you still cheating on her?
No. No.
Yes.
I was going to say, for not wanting to bring an innocent victim into this, it's kind of funny, I think, how you did it 7 times.
Excuse
me?
What
7 times?
You've been pregnant 7 times.
No, this is my second
No, it's okay.
No.
He left her 7 times.
At least.
Wow, she'd look good for 7 pregnancies. Yes.
Yes, I have 2 questions. One for, I think, Vicky. If you say you already have a man, why you have him?
He's my
Stay
friend.
with your man.
He's my friend. He's always been my friend.
Then why have his
I've been
kids?
pregnant for 5 months. My man's been my man for 2 months. So, yes,
and then
2.
Thomas, are you staying with Leanne because you love Leanne or because of this new baby?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm staying with her right now because for the baby also. Also, I still love my wife. I love my wife with all my heart, and I want to make things work now.
Why don't you tell her? Don't tell me.
I love you with all my heart.
But how am I going to know that? How do I know that? I mean, you've lied to me. You always lie to me. You never tell me the truth. And you know I hate that worse than anything, is a liar. I don't lie to you, so why do you have to lie to me? I mean, how can I believe you?
Ricky?
So there's a trust that's gone. Yes, Jane?
Yeah. Leanne, at this moment, you're being destructive to the relationship, and I don't doubt that you have a lot of reason to be very angry at him, but he just approached you in a loving way, and instead of accepting that,
But
you
now,
put,
maybe it's
you
a little
put
too late
distance.
for that, you know?
It's not, you're the one that's saying it's not too late. You're the one that's saying you still want to work it out. So if you want to work it out, when he comes to you in a loving
Wanting
way...
and doing is two different things. I mean, we can want, you know, anything, but that doesn't mean we're going to get it.
That's true. That's true. In fact, the problem with all of the relationships on stage is that everybody's looking at what they want rather than what the other person wants. And
rather what the child needs.
That's right.
So, I mean, what is going to happen with the two of you? Are you both committed to trying to work this out?
We're going to try counseling. I mean, I think that could do some good. It can't do any harm.
You're right. You're absolutely right. All right, next, a woman who wants to get pregnant by the married man she's dating, and later, a woman who got pregnant on purpose and now regrets having her son. Don't go away. Pregnant on purpose to keep their man. But what happens when the man you want to keep is married to someone else? Joining us now is Zenobia. She says she wants to get pregnant by the married man she's been dating. She says it's the only way to make sure he'll stay in her life. Tell me about it, Zenobia.
Well, we were dating for 8 months before I found out that he was married. Before I found out he was married, he was planning on getting me pregnant and not telling me until I was 9 months, and I was unable to do anything about it. Before I found out he was married, I did tell him we did agree that we did want a child together. After I found out he was married, the relationship ended. 3 weeks ago, he called me and we talked, and he wanted me to have a baby and give me a certain amount of money per month and also buy me a car.
I guess that's hard to pass up. So, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
I mean, that sounds like a nice, cushy life for you, but are you thinking what's best for this unborn child?
Really, I don't want a relationship with him, because if he cheated on his wife, what makes me think he's not going to cheat on me?
What about his wife? Does his wife know about you?
He told her, but she's still in denial, don't want to believe it. We spoke over the phone, yes, we have, but she still doesn't want to believe it. So that's on her.
Whoa, wake up and smell the coffee. Yes.
Hi. I just like to know, what is up with everybody's self-esteem on this stage? This lady here.
Vicky?
Okay, what is so spectacular about this guy that you want to have so many kids? I mean, does he work?
What are you saying? You don't see it. You don't see the attraction?
Does anybody? I mean, the only guy that looks like he may have something going on, who may have something going on, is this guy. This guy makes a booty call when he's drunk. Now, come on. I mean, that says something about somebody's self-esteem.
That may be true, but
you got 3
if you
kids.
don't know him, you can't say. He can sit on the stage. Okay.
Well, why don't you know him? You know him, so why don't you tell us what is so special about him?
I know him better than he knows himself.
Then tell me, what is so
Maybe
great?
it's because I know him too well. I figure I don't want to go through being hurt by anybody else. So, I know him. I can pretty much say what he gonna do and what he gonna act. So I might as well.
All right. Back to Zenobia. Zenobia, are you going to have his baby? Are you going to get pregnant?
No.
So, from the time you spoke to my producers and said you were going to have his baby, suddenly you come up here and you've decided you've changed your mind?
Even when I spoke to your producers, I still haven't made up my mind what I was going to do. I do.
stories and you've decided maybe that's not the answer for you?
No, my story is totally different from theirs. I've always wanted to have a child. I'm a very independent person, and I just want to have a child. I don't want to have to deal with the father and the relationship and all that.
But you do want the car and the money.
Right.
Right. Okay. All right. Wait, David, you want to come out here? David's our producer. He's producing the show. How about a hand for David? Tell me, David, what did Zenobia tell you?
Zenobia said that she loves this guy, she fell in love with him, and in order to keep the relationship with him, she was gonna have his baby.
Right. I said that.
So, did you tell me that?
Yeah.
So why are you now telling Ricky that you're not?
I've changed my mind. I'm entitled to change my mind. I'm entitled to change my mind.
Who do we believe, David? Sorry, Zenobia, you lose. Next up, a woman who regrets getting pregnant on purpose. Don't go away. And then regret doing so. Meet Marquita. She says getting pregnant was the biggest mistake of her life. Tell us about it.
Well, the reason why I say it's the biggest mistake of my life is because I became pregnant. I told my baby father that I was pregnant. He left me the same day that I told him I was pregnant. He slapped me. This man didn't bust me in my head with pistols because I asked him about my baby Pampers. He didn't. I mean, he don't come around. I asked my baby. He brought my baby a coat the other day. I said, "There go your father." My baby said, "Huh?" Because he don't know his father when he see him. And he can't stand me and I can't stand him. And it's just something that I got bad into. And I would like to tell all you ladies up here that's having a baby on purpose, do not do it because it's not worth it in the end.
Yes. Do you love your child or do you blame it on the father?
No, I love my child. I love my child true dearly. He don't do nothing for my baby. I don't ask him for nothing. But I'm blaming it on the father because it took me and the father to get it. And it's time for him to it's time to be a man to take on his responsibilities. That's why I'm blaming it on the father.
So you don't regret having your child now. You just your plan backfired.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
All right, I have something to say to all of them. For you just stupid and confused. If you just want a car, you staying with this man just to have a baby. For these two right here, all right, laugh if you want to. For these two right here, you found the man when you had your baby before. Now you have another baby. You can find a man to take care of both of your kids. For you was young, so I hope you learn from your mistakes. And you just pathetic if you need a man to be your friend. You pathetic. You pathetic. You pathetic.
Very happy, darling. He's still my friend, so you can sit down.
Yes.
I would just like to say to, what's her name?
Vicky, weren't you paying attention?
Yes, well, I can't remember names, but Vicky, I think you're just a little confused and you need to find yourself. You know, you're confused within yourself because you should just get rid of him. You have a man, just stay with your man, find out what he's about.
I like
and
that
then,
in you for an intelligent response because people who stand up and say ignorant things are ignorant themselves.
All right, but just find yourself.
Thanks. All right, Jane, do you have anything you want to add here today? Go ahead.
What I'd like to say is that I think all of you and all of us need to think a little more about what love really is. That it's not just how you feel about the person, but it's working out what each of you want that's different and separate, and about working out your negative feelings for one another and your negative feelings about what it means to be alive on this earth. And actually, I have the most hope for Leanne and Thomas because Leanne is smart enough to understand that you can't just solve negative feelings by running away, which is what Thomas does. But Thomas actually really does love Leanne, and I think if they get some help, they can work it out.
Yeah, well, I think people today need to think long and hard about who they want to have children with. Yes?
I'm just curious as to what you do for a living. I'm just curious.
Reginald? No, the young lady, yeah.
I'm raising my children. I'm finna go back to school to be an RN.
Yeah, but how are you supporting these children? I don't understand.
Yes, welfare, but I bet you one thing my children don't need. I have a mother that helps me.
We'll be
very
right
much, and
back
he
after
helps me
this. I want to thank all of our guests for being here today and sharing their stories. Bringing a child into the world is a major decision that requires two people. If you're getting pregnant as a way to manipulate someone else, you are cheating yourself, your partner, and most of all, your child. Thank you for watching. See you next time.